Hello, mini makers. Today we're going to be making a wall torch, or a torch we can put on a wall to kind of add accents to your walls, kind of like bits or something for your terrain. I'll probably do a couple different types. So we can go ahead and start. We're just gonna make a wall. We're just gonna make a simple wall here. First, I'm gonna save file. As wall torch. When you're working in Blender, be sure to save often, because you may flash on you. Sometimes it does that. Okay, so we're just gonna make the wall 50 by 50. This is gonna be 5 or something. Okay, so now we're just gonna make a really quick kind of cobblestone type thing, where so now we can just kind of slab so we're just gonna glab everyone, maybe that. Okay. Or we could have an entire wall, couple wall segments here. Alt left click the Alt left click edge loops. That. Do this work better. Here. And then we're gonna bevel this all. I don't want to see how this. Okay, bevel this. Boot it. Okay, so yeah, we have a very simple click wall here. And then we can go ahead, gonna add very cut. So that's how you make a very basic. Okay. Slightly more. Okay. Okay. So now we can add this little wall mount portion. That's gonna be pretty easy. We just add a cube. Add a cube here. Kind of scale it in the Y dimension 10. Scale in the X dimension 5. You want to make it slightly bigger than you would think, because when you're working with miniature terrain, you kind of want to be bigger than usual. This is going to be about 10 millimeters 5 millimeters, so actually very small when you look at it in real life. Now it looks like it has rivets up top and it's beveled throughout the whole portion here. Probably gonna make. So we're just gonna add a. We're gonna apply a scale, and then we're gonna bevel this face. That. So if you don't apply the scale, the bevel acts weird. That. And then what we're gonna do is we're going. Okay, and then for these portions out of these posts that are coming out, we could either subdivide it into black, probably what I'm gonna end up doing. Probably move this down. Gonna bevel these two. We're gonna take these two faces, click on these, and we can just exclude them out. And then probably just bevel them slightly, or we could even leave them unbeveled. Okay. So that's our post on the wall here. We can add some of these rivets like they have here by just adding spheres. So just Shift A to add a sphere. Put over again. That. Not too bad, not too hard. Gonna get here. Darker. Gonna get a. Want to subdivide this. That. Slightly smaller. And then we can just mirror this across. Shift duplicate and then down. There. There we go. Not too hard. So now what we'll do is we will go ahead and start making. So this post looks like it's. I'm gonna make it hexagonal, even though this is, or octagonal, even though this seems like it's cylinder. I'm gonna go ahead and go cylinder. 6, 8. Up. And then if I click on this, if I click on cylinder and shift click over onto the wall post, I can Shift S, selection active, and move it over. And then rotate it slightly. Both of these out. Something like that. Then I'm gonna actually move it down in text. Okay, so that's gonna be our post or our torch. At least. Yeah. I'm not gonna make it too big. Okay. And now this part up top here is just a bunch of. It looks like it's just a bunch of I call them planes. You can either do planes, you can do cubes. So we're just gonna add here. We don't want to make it too thin. I'm gonna rotate this slightly. Five. Over. Like that. Then I'm going to move it up. Then we're gonna include. We're gonna. Then we can just go ahead and move these segments. This. So add an edge loop. That's the first bend. That's the bend. So we can either subdivide surfaces and add some edge loops here. Something like that. I probably make this here. That. Do this as well. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use radial symmetry using hard opt and box cutter. Works here. Let me just go ahead and see how this works. Radial symmetry, radial away. And there, look, there's. Go ahead and do 5. And we just move this over to the center. That. In slightly. That. I think we'll go ahead. We could leave it like that. Then we're just gonna add a cylinder. Then we're gonna move selection active like that. And we're gonna lower it. Like that. Gonna add the cylinder and set it at 32. Then I will we're just gonna make it have 1. Gonna set this and set both of these faces here. About there. Then we're just gonna bridge the faces so it makes it bling flexure. Okay. And then I'm just gonna add a flame here. So we can then go ahead and Boolean union these all together, and then it'd be one item. So we're just gonna go ahead and add UV sphere. That's an active. Then we're gonna move this up here. Then we're just gonna add the flame. And that can be done by this. So you get the sphere. Then you use proportional editing. You move the top up slightly like this. That. Then you can rotate it. Or what you could do is you could go into scope mode. I'm gonna do. And add some vertices in dynamic topology. Set your length to 0 and set your resolution. I'm gonna go with 5. Make sure it's on constant detail. And down here, that's 7.5. And then we're gonna use the snake hook tool to kind of bling some out. You can use a mouse or a stylus for this. It doesn't really matter. It's not very difficult or very precise sculpting. It's a lot more about feeling, like kind of moving it around, little random. So we're just gonna give this, use the snake hook tool, give this a little twist here. That. Then we go ahead and pull out some other portion. We're just gonna print dynamic topology. I don't normally do this with snake hook tool. I'm gonna do it here because a fairly small amount of vertices. Yep, and then just use snake hook tool to bling out some more fire portion. And then you're gonna kind of give fire tips some distinct shapes like that. Go in here. You can even fling it out of the sides at the bottom here. We'll see how that looks. If I don't like how it looks. I don't think I like how that looks. I think I like how it looks a little bit more. Just the top being fire. Okay, so we're just gonna make that blue. And then we're probably just gonna pull it out a bunch more by using the slab tool and lift it. That. And then and that's a little trick if you want to make something magical instead of realistic. You can change the color. So build the same thing like normal, but just change the color. And then it really does look like it's magical or unnatural. Oh, pull these out like that. And then to make it a slightly more stylized, we can add more of these little fire envelope pieces. And the reason why I could work like this, and I could manipulate, if you use the /, you can manipulate just, or you could see just the flame, or whatever you're sculpting. But I want to do it like this, so I can see how it interacts with the torch. Okay. So now that we've done that, what we can do is we can go in with the scrape tool, and then we can just kind of go against the sides of these flames to make it very stylized. You don't want to do all of the sides. You do want to do, I would say, and for here we can go and manipulate just the flame here. We do want to go like maybe like 75% of the flame, but not 100% of the flame. So just use the scrape tool like this. Try to avoid having very sharp edges. Sometimes use a scrape tool too close to another flame tendril, you'll start affecting both. So just be careful about that. So don't be afraid of using the sculpting tools. It's the really easy way to get something that looks very interesting without a lot of modeling. Okay, go ahead and doing this. I think we're kind of done here. So this is going to be a very tiny flame when we actually print it out. And then we can also add the swirls here by just using the rotate tool in the empty spaces here. Kind of adds a little bit more. You only want to do it in the empty spaces. It kind of adds a little bit more of that, like, really kind of magical, kind of very stylized energy. Like that. So now we have our blue flame. And also when you print it out, there's a lot of these high edges that can be caught by fly blushing and edge highlighting. And it gives you a really interesting design here. If you want to make this flame very big, you can literally catch a lot of these swirls. For now, that's our torch number 1. I'm gonna take this over here, rotate it slightly, and then we can Boolean union all of this together. We could even, well, what I'll do is what I'm going to is I'm gonna just make the top the top little portion. I'm gonna make it so that you can kind of put this in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy this, to duplicate it, size it up slightly. That. And then I'm gonna, while having the bigger one selected, like the holder, then I'm just gonna difference them. Apply that. So then when I print this out, I'll be able to slide this in to the spot. Like that. Apply. And now I can put that there, slide it in. No problem. So that's our one torch. Now I'll probably make another one. I'm gonna make another one here. That's the one that has the kind of cloth over it. So to do that, we go ahead and I'm gonna start with the cylinder again. Duplicate this. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just make that other one, which is gonna be cylinder. And I'm gonna leave it, I'm gonna make this one round. And I want to fit in the spot. And I copy this one's rotation. Okay. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and size it. Fit. Now they have that. Size it hitting S and then Z twice, so I can size it in the local axis. Okay, so now it's roughly the same length. Except I'm going to take the bottom, slide that face, inset it, using I to inset. I'm going to use Control R to add a bunch of loop cuts. Smooth. Make the bottom rounded. Then it has a rounded bottom. And then I'm going to add the cloth bit. So I'll just go ahead and add the cloth bit by adding it here. Gonna delete this and the subtop. So I go in edit mode, top one, delete these spaces, size them like that. Then I'm gonna fill the top, bottom faces again, subdivide faces, subdivide sections, subdivide surfaces. That. I'm gonna look up an example of torch. I don't know how I would call these. Mid, off, torch. Fabric maybe. Okay, yeah. So that looks roughly what it is. A very basic torch here. I'll just go ahead and inset the top and bottom a little bit. That. And then I'll go into sculpt mode. First I'll go subdivide surfaces. Or no. I'll just go in sculpt mode. And I will add some geometry. That's too many, I think. So I'm gonna add maybe 3. Too little. 5. Okay. So now I'm just gonna smooth this out. Smooth tool at a fairly low strength. And then I'm just gonna go in with claw tool in the negative dimension direction. Turn on stabilized slopes. And just turn off any type of symmetry. And just blend these straight down. So it kind of gives wood a wood grain like texture. I'm gonna make these a bit thinner. That. Don't want to make them too close. Then we'll kind of between there, here, here, here. Okay. A wood color. This is a very basic wood grain. So the more you add, the more like plain it kind of can look. But it's just a basic there. And now we're gonna do this top portion. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take 2 of these edge loops, one near the top here, then one near the middle here. You're gonna Shift D to duplicate them, then separate by selection. So I have these. Take these and move them upwards. I'll just turn them into curves. I'm gonna turn these into curves. Convert to curve. Another curve. This is a lot of steps for this. You don't really, probably too many steps for this. But I just want to make like bands around the cloth. Smaller here. So that. So now they look like they have kind of bands around them. So to do that, we just, like I said, duplicated the edge loops, then separated them by selection. Then we turned them into curves. Then we went over here into the data tab and then went to bevel, object, Bezier circle. We made it smaller. Making it smaller, that affects the size. And then we can just go and scale it in the X. We'll have these two, kind of make it thinner in the X dimension. Now it kind of follows that shape. So this hill shape is now the shape it follows. Now we have done that, convert them back to the mesh. And we can just slap two random edge loops here. Portion editing. Individual origins. And bring them in like that. Have this edge up here. Okay, that. And I like. Okay. Now that we have that, we can clown. And now we can just kind of if you want, we can just copy this flame. Put it over here. Get slightly bigger. Deliver its location. Make it slightly bigger. That. Then we can go into sculpt mode. And then use the vine project. And then make sure you hold in full. Cut off that portion. And then we can just kind of smooth it. With the bottom portion out here. This. Okay. I think we can actually make it slightly bigger. Make it so it covers some of that. Yeah, so it's kind of intersecting itself slightly there. Keep using it. Then we can rotate it. Looks like a completely different flame. Change its color to say orange, green. Just flame. Take this. And then for this portion here, probably apply the modifiers. So we can go into sculpt mode for the cloth portion. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to use the clay strips tool. Use clay strips tool. Add a lower length here. Going to make sure that it's front faces only. Going to make it kind of smaller. We're just going to add some of this texture bit here. Then we're gonna smooth it. Smaller length maybe. That. Gonna put this stuff in. That. And then we can go ahead and use the draw tool. Take off Timothy. And if you want, you could go really in depth here and make very called very specific and highly detailed cloth here, but it's just like a bundle. What I'm looking at, I just wanted to kind of look like a bundle of cloth that kind of looks like it from a distance, and we're going to be looking at these because they're so small. Take this over. That. Yep. Right, and those are our two wall torches. Very stylized. Gonna kind of probably pull some of these down here. Okay. Yep, and those are our two wall torches. Alright, well, very simple pieces. Add for your terrain. We got one more traditional and one more very medieval fantasy. Plus white. Yeah, so here's how you make some wall torches for just your. You want to add wall torches, make your walls a little bit more interesting. Make your terrain, your dungeons a little bit more interesting. You have these two types of torches you know how to make now. And if you just enjoyed seeing it, let me know what else you want me to make in the future in the comments. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you had some fun or learned something. Okay, well, that like it's gonna be it. Looks like. Yep. Anyway, I hope you had a nice time.